What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we're going to have none other than Japanese Tuesday. So that means we have a 3 deck list to look over with, and that means we have some topping decks. So without further ado, let's dive into the video and talk about it. So first deck we're going to talk about is none other than the Imperialdramon Dragon Fighter Mode deck. So this is the Virus Red and purple deck. It's really powerful. It has piercing. It can digivolve on top of Dragon Mode for 2, and it's not color restricted too. When digivolving, return 1 Imperialdramon Dragon Mode from this Digimon's Digi-Evolution cards to the bottom of its owner's deck. It does not activate security effects on cards it checks for the turn. So he's going to make sure that nothing activates. No tamers, no options, no nothing. It only can do battle. So just keep an eye on that. And then on deletion, you may play 1 Wormmon and 1 Minervamon from your trash without paying its memory cost. What's really nasty is this can be looped. So being able to maybe swing in for game, clear out a bunch of security, and then use Calling for Darkness, grab your pieces back, and just set up for a climb and a half, your opponent is just going to fall flat. So deck has a lot of potential. One major issue of this deck, though, is it is mill reliant. So there's not always enough pieces to keep milling. So if you don't mill the right pieces or toss the right pieces in your hand into the trash and set yourself up, you're expected to fail at that point. So it is one of those combo decks that are a little trickier to pilot. It's a very powerful deck, I do agree. So let's look at Dragon Mode itself. This DNA Digivolves. Basically, the whole line can self-DNA from using trash pieces, putting them on the field, and instantly DNAing with them. So just keep that watchful eye open for this so that you have some value here. So when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, your opponent chooses one of their Digimon, destroy all your opponent's Digimon other than the chosen Digimon, then Blitz. Really solid there. And then when attacking, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP for the turn. Then this Digimon may Digivolve into 1 Imperialdramon Fighter Mode in your hand for its Digi-Evolution cost. Basically, for 2 costs after this DNAs, you instantly get into Fighter Mode and then apply more pressure. So, I think that's pretty solid there. Imperialdramon is a DNA Digi-Evolution. We already knew this was going to happen. It gives an extra security check, which applies more pressure. So when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, you may play 1 Dino B from your trash without paying its cost. So cycling in trash Digimon that you've trashed through effects, really useful. On deletion, you may play 1 Vmon from your trash without paying its memory cost. So if he dies early, not a bad trade-off. You get to attempt to rebuild your board. And then you have Dino Bmon, so when Digivolving, when DNA Digivolving, you may play 1 Imperialdramon from your trash without paying its memory cost. Cool. So we self-sustain the climb. And then on deletion, you may play 1 Wormmon. So it's a counter to itself, but your turn, while this Digimon has Imperialdramon in name, it can also attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. So basically, if they have, after you've done Dragon Mode's effect and brought it down there can only be 1 status, just go in for swing for kills. Get rid of that last boss Digimon and get it off the board. Flamedramon is when Digivolving, activate one of the effects below. One of your other Digimon may Digivolve into a purple level 4 Digimon for free, with free in its traits from your trash for its Digi-Evolution cost. You may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digi-Evolution cost. And end of turn, it does have you may DNA Digivolve this Digimon into one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon in your hand without paying its DNA Digi-Evolution cost. Crazy. It's just basically self-sustaining. It just constantly does what it wants to do. It's just going to constantly DNA Digivolve pretty quickly. Shoutmon, activate one of the effects below. One of your other Digimon may DNA Digivolve into a red level 4 You may Digivolve into a red level 4 Digimon with free in its traits from your trash for its Digi-Evolution cost. So basically that Wormmon, even if you go Wormmon or Vmon Digivolve up top, you can instantly get back into things. You may DNA Digivolve this Digimon and one of your other Digimon in play into a Digimon card in your hand by paying its DNA Digi-Evolution cost. So, really powerful. I mean, instantly when Digivolving, so you go 1, instantly combine. Really does help out. It just climbs right back up pretty quickly. So the Eismon here is just for another, if scatter mode dies and you toss this can get you another free body on board, or if you discard it through effects, it really does help out. And then Vmon, so by trashing one card with Imperialdramon in its name or free in its traits in your hand, draw 2. Really powerful because it sets up other combo pieces and graveyard effects, and then it gives your boost in the 2000 DP department. And then you have Wormmon, so reveal the top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 red or purple free in its trait, or 1 card with Imperialdramon in its name among them to your hand, and trash 1 card. 1 card following the same requirements, placing the remaining cards at the bottom of any of your deck in any order. So basically, you have to toss a free or an Imperialdramon, or add it, vice versa. So while you have a red Digimon in play, this Digimon gains retaliation, so they can't just swing into it. They're using promo Impmon, so security at the end of battle, you may play 1 purple level 3 Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. So basically, you'll either play Gazi or Wormmon or even Impmon. So that's how that's going to go. And then you can add this card to your hand. Demi-Maris for draw trash, Gazi's to shut off any memory gain shenanigans outside of Tamers. Then you got Death X, just be able to clear boards and hold back any deck. Grizzly Wing, if they hit the security, you can instantly get your Wormmon back, which is not a bad trade-off, or your Imp or Gaze. Calling from Darkness is for the combo loop, so not bad. Miss Memory Boost is to help mill your deck and draw and give you extra memory. Then you have Deathclaw to pop a boss. Let's say your Scatter Mode isn't dying, you get to pop it, or you needed just a quick Imperialdramon Fighter Mode death, so that it can just reset everything up. That's how you're going to do it. Ties just to set you to 3, and you're always going to have an extra security check in most situations because you DNA digivolve quite a bit and your stack gets quite large. And then Analog Youth is milling just to get you pieces, and then when this dies, it gets you at least an extra memory to continue play. So it's not a bad trade-off. Great setup. The deck can go wild when it wants. Then we have Minervamon Loop. This deck is going to be one of those tyrants of the format, especially for the little Loop players. They've been waiting for a deck like this. Minervamon has retaliation, so they can't just easily swing into it, but she can easily trade. Opponent's turn. When your opponent plays a Digimon, you may play 1 purple level 4 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on plays do not activate. We don't care about that. So basically, this keeps pace with Bloomlord, surprisingly. So if they're going to be crazy building a wide board, you just get a free wide board because they're doing it. So keep that in mind. And then on deletion, if your opponent has 2 or less Digimon in play, you may play 1 purple level 5 or lower Digimon card, or 1 Minervamon from your trash without paying its memory cost. This is probably going to show up next set. But basically being able to cycle things in is crazy. Creepymon's just there for a really interesting dynamic here. So Creepymon can instantly just play, let's say, Lucimon Chaos mode, basically killing off a Tamer or your opponent's level 6 or highers. And then you have Cerberus mode as another valuable option, being able to play in and get rush in, and its on play does activate. So if you had a Cerberus, you can gain a free memory off of that and continue your play that way. So there's just very much crazy shenanigans that you can do with this combos. Nidhogg is just for that gain of memory when trashed, really helps out. Lilithmon is just there for your Lilith Loop shenanigans, back from revenge. So one of your Digimon games on deletion, play this card without paying its memory costs. Any on-play effects that Digimon has with this effect do not activate. So not very terrible, because especially with Minervamon, you want to swing in and do some shenanigans, but she wants to die anyway. So if she gets popped, regardless of the situation, she's coming back on the board, and you get a level 5 out of the deal. It's not a bad trade-off. So you get to control board states really easily. Jackarade is your memory support. Revival from Darkness. Delete one of your purple Digimon. Then you may play 1 level 5 or lower Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost. Any on-plays effects on Digimon played with this effect do not activate. So what's really nice is it can present lethal, and that's what we want. A free Cerberusmon really does help out. So rush can win you the game. Calling from Darkness, delete one of your Digimon, then return up to 2 of your purple Digimons. That's really going to help out. Dead or Alive, if they hit the security, you basically get Cerberusmon or Lucimon coming out for free, depending on game state. Purple Memory Boost, just for that, gaining 2 memory, but helps you find your pieces. Deathclaw pops something to get rid of a level 4, really can help out and be useful. Matt Ishida is just Matt Ishida. Just going to cycle back a piece you need and gain you the 3 memory. Analog Youth. It's Analog Youth. What else can we say about this card? This card is just very powerful indeed. And then Death X is basically board control incarnate. Cerberusmon and Eismon Scatter Mode serve the same purpose. They're both prepared to die for you. So their goal is to die and draw you cards, the trash cards, fill your trash, so your Jack raids are basically free. Eismon, just a free come out, just so that you can climb up later with it. Not a bad trade-off. Doberman is just to cycle back your Tamers or Digimon that you need. Devimon is just basically get a blocker up if they're trying to present lethal. You can at least get a blocker out for free because Minervamon can play it for free. Psychmon shuts down any of your opponent's shenanigans if they are trying to just hard play stuff for reduced costs, so that really does help out. Gaze, just shutting down. Your opponent can't gain memory without Tamers. That really helps. Tapirmon on deletion, draw a card. Gabumon is just basically the combo, just so that you go Demimera, Gabu, Eismon Scatter Mode, or Demimera, Gabu, and maybe Cerberusmon, depending on board state and what you digivolved into. So it's just what you're going to be doing with that. So it's very powerful. I think the Loop deck has so much potential, and it takes really good pilots on this. So it's one of those. And then finally, we're going to talk about Shoutmon Cross Hearts. This is new here from Card Meta. I just wanted to see if you guys like this way, or do you like the other way I've been doing it? If you like this, we can do it this way. I mean, being able to look at Pikmon like this. So Pikmon, when attacking, if the Digimon has Cross-Hearted in its traits, draw a card. Shoutmon is basically one of the best decks in the format. We already know this, but it's worth talking about. Revealing the 3 cards from the top of your deck. Add 1 Digimon card with Cross-Hearted in its traits and or 1 Tamer among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Save basically puts it under your Tamer and plays Hideaway. While this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, it gains Rush. That's really important. That Rush is very nasty. Starmon's just basically off your Cross Hearts level 2s, but on deletion, Save basically hides underneath things. If this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, draw a card. Sparrowmon, all turns while you have a Tamer with Crossheart or Twilight in its trait, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP, becomes a 5k beat stick. On deletion, Save, but opponent's turn while this Digimon has Shoutmon or Minervamon in its name, this Digimon gains Reboot. So basically, lets you get out of the way of your opponent trying to swing into your stuff. We have Shoutmon ×4, one of the most nastiest cards they printed. Material Save 2, when this Digimon would be deleted, place 2 of this Digimon's Digivolution cards that are in this Digimon's Digi Cross requirements under one of your Tamers in any order. And then on play, draw 2. When at end of attack, you may place all this Digimon's Digivolution cards under one of your Tamers in any order. Unsuspend one of your Tamers. If you do, delete this Digimon. Really powerful. That on play draw 2 helps the deck keep its momentum. And then Cross Hearts requirement is Shoutmon, Ballistamon, Darulomon, and Starmon. And it becomes a 1 cost on play. This is why Psychmon, Soulmon, and Chichurimon, or Kuchurimon, or whatever the black version is, that you want to be playing in this format to slow this deck down. Darulomon is basically Digivolving for 2 on a level 3 Cross Heart. Not bad. If you have another Digimon or Tamer with Cross-Hearted in its traits, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 3000 DP until the end of next turn. Save basically hides. While this Digimon has Shoutmon in its name, all your opponent's Digimon security gets minus 2000 DP. Not bad. Then we have Ballistamon. So same thing with the Cross-Heart on a level 3, but opponent's turn, while you have another Digimon or Tamer with Cross-Heart in its trait, this Digimon gains Blocker. Free Blocker, really nasty, and on deletion, Save. So if they kill it, you get that, and it gives Piercing to your Shoutmon. Shoutmon ×5, or cross 5. So security +1, it's a blocker, material save 3, so you get to save 3 of your 5 materials. And then cross is Shoutmon, Ballista, Darula, Starmon, Sparrowmon. So that is 5. This thing can come in for free. I don't justify that. That should never come in for free. But that is how this card is going to go. Death X is for the mirror. Definitely really nasty. Tai is to give your Shoutmons extra security checks. Tai and Kari. Basically, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has 3 or fewer security, gain 1 memory. So this extends your plays. And while you have when your red or yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to give all your opponent's security Digimon minus 2000 DP. The more you have, the less likely your Shoutmon times 4 or times 5 will die. Mikey is basically the heart and soul of the deck. This is why you can go off crazily, because it allows you to use your sources, Digimon sources, from underneath it. So if you kill a Mikey at the right time, you can definitely shut them down or kill off the tamer that is hiding all their Digimon. So just something to look forward to. Angie is Angie. You know, she gets to play a Darulamon for free. And then when you have a Digimon with Crossheart in its traits, you may suspend this tamer, draw a card. And then Jeremy's just going to be Jeremy playing that blocker for free. And then while your Digimon with Crossheart is in his traits, when you play one, you may suspend this tamer, gain a memory. This is where making times 4 free is really nasty. And then Sunrise Burst, the most powerful removal spell for this deck. It basically controls and checks your opponent so hard it's not even funny, because we play enough red-yellow tamer combinations that we basically can kill any boss Digimon that is on board. So, guys, what did you think of all these Japanese lists? Let me know down in the comments. I think Crossheart's still too more powerful than it should have been. It should have been hit in some capacity, but without further ado, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace!